She stood on my dock, arms crossed, face red with fury. "You can't swim here unless you pay HOA fees." She barked like she owned the whole lake. I stayed calm and said, "This is my property. You don't get to tell me what I can do on my own land." That didn't sit well with her. Within moments, she yanked out her phone and started yelling, "Yes, officer. He's trespassing. Send someone right now." I almost laughed. She was calling the police on the very man who owned the entire shoreline. My little girl tugged at my sleeve, whispering nervously, "Dad, are we in trouble?" I knelt beside her and whispered, "Not us, sweetheart. She just doesn't know who she's dealing with." Out of the corner of my eye, I saw neighbors watching from their porches. Some laughed, others whispered, but everyone knew one thing. She had just started a fire she couldn't put out. When the police cruiser pulled in, she ran toward it, waving her arms dramatically. "That's him. He's breaking the rules. He refused to join our HOA." The officers looked from her to me, puzzled. One asked, "Sir, do you live here?" Before I could respond, she jumped in, shouting, "He doesn't own anything. I'm the HOA president. He's just squatting on our lake." I didn't bother arguing. I just smiled, knowing the folder in my truck held every deed and legal record they'd ever need. She had no idea the man she was trying to get arrested was actually her landlord. The officer stepped closer, hand on his belt, waiting for my explanation. Before I could speak, she stomped forward, pointing a finger so close to my face it nearly touched my nose. "He doesn't pay dues. He ignores our rules. I demand you remove him now." Her voice cracked like she believed shouting made her powerful. I finally stood tall and looked at the officers. "Do you want the short answer or the long one?" I asked. They exchanged glances. She snapped, "Just arrest him already." But the older officer raised a hand. "Ma'am, let him talk." I walked to my truck, every step slow and deliberate. Neighbors leaned closer, eager to see what would happen. I opened the door and pulled out a thick leather folder, its edges worn from years of use. Laying it on the cruiser's hood, I opened it. "Here's the deed to this property, and the deed to the land around the lake. Every lot you think your HOA controls belongs to me." The younger officer whistled quietly. "Wait, so you're saying—" I tapped the documents. "I'm not just a resident. I'm the one leasing the land your HOA sits on." She froze, her jaw dropping. "That can't be true." "I'm the president. I run this community." The neighbors broke into murmurs, some laughing, some recording. For the first time, her fake authority cracked. Then I said, "So technically, Karen, you've been paying me rent this whole time." Her face went pale. The crowd erupted with whispers and laughter. Cameras lifted. She tried to laugh it off, but her voice trembled. "He's faking those papers. Officers, don't believe him!" He probably printed them online. The older cop studied the documents. "Ma'am, these are notarized and recorded with the county. He's not lying." He gave me a nod, almost admiring the patience I'd shown. She spun around, desperate. "Don't you see what he's doing? If he owns the land, he can evict us all." Silence fell. Everyone waited for my reply. I let it hang until she started trembling, then said, "You're right about one thing. I could kick everyone out, but I haven't. Because unlike you, I actually respect the people who live here." Applause started, soft at first, then louder. Someone shouted. Finally, someone stood up to her. Another laughed. "She doesn't even own the dirt under her house." Her face twisted with rage. She lunged at me, trying to grab the folder. The officer stepped in, pulling her back. "Ma'am, calm down, you're crossing a line." But she wouldn't stop screaming. "He can't do this. I'm the president. I make the rules." I leaned in close and whispered, "Not anymore. The only rule that matters now is mine." The younger cop looked at me and muttered, "Sir, you might want to press charges. That was assault." That's when she finally realized this wasn't a power game anymore. It was the start of her downfall. Her shouts echoed across the lake. But now every phone camera was on her. Neighbors who had stayed silent were shouting back, "You fined me for painting my mailbox red. You threatened to tow my car from my own driveway." The officers tried calming the crowd, but it was too late. Her image was collapsing right in front of everyone. Her face flushed bright red as she screamed, "He's lying. He forged those deeds." That's when I pulled my final card. I opened the folder again and unfolded a certified county map, the official seal shining in the sunlight. "See this?" I said, holding it up. "Every inch of this lake, every path, every dock, it's all legally mine. And your HOA? It doesn't even exist on paper. It was never registered with the state, the crowd gasped. Phones zoomed in on the county stamp. The younger officer took the paper, read it carefully, and turned to her. "Ma'am, he's right. You've been running a fake HOA." She froze, trembling. Someone shouted, "So all those fines were scams?" The murmurs turned to laughter, then cheers. One neighbor tossed her fine notice into the air like confetti. Another called out, "Hey, landlord, how much to evict her first?" The whole street erupted in laughter. Her power crumbled in seconds. She tried to hide her face, but the cameras caught everything. The older officer stepped forward. "Ma'am, we need you to come with us." Impersonating a legal authority is a serious offense, and just like that, she was led to the same squad car she'd called to arrest me. As the door shut behind her, the neighbors cheered and whistled. My little girl looked up and asked, "Daddy, is the mean lady gone?" I kissed her forehead. "She's gone, sweetheart, and she's not coming back." My wife stepped forward, relief softening her face. She wrapped her arm around me. "I was scared, but you never even flinched," she said. I smiled because I knew truth was stronger than her lies. Neighbors came over, shaking my hand. "You don't know how long we've waited for this," one said. "She's been bullying us for years." Another added, "She fined me for hanging an American flag." I raised my voice so everyone could hear. "Listen up. I'm not here to control anyone. This is your community. Want to fish? Go ahead. Paint your mailbox, plant flowers, fly a flag, do what you want. You're free here. No more fake rules." Cheers echoed across the lake. Kids splashed in the water laughing. For the first time in years, it felt like freedom. My daughter tugged my sleeve again. "Daddy, are we safe now?" I lifted her up, always. That's why I fought back. No one tells us we don't belong on our own land. As the sun dipped low, painting the lake gold, I held my family close. I'd served my country to protect freedom, and I wasn't about to let anyone steal ours. Not today. Not ever. The next morning, the story was everywhere. Videos of her shouting, the officers taking her away, and me showing the deeds had gone viral. Thousands of comments poured in. Finally, someone stood up to an HOA tyrant. That man's a hero protecting his land. Neighbors stopped by all day to thank me. One old veteran shook my hand and said, "Son, you remind me why we fought. For freedom, property, and family. Never let anyone take that from you." His words hit harder than any applause. That night, I sat on the porch with my wife while our daughter slept inside. The moon shimmered across the calm lake. For the first time in years, there was peace. I thought about how close I'd come to being handcuffed in front of my child, because of a woman drunk on fake power, and realized this wasn't just about me. It was about every family ever bullied by someone pretending to be in charge. I raised my glass of iced tea and whispered, "They tried to break us with lies, but the truth set us free." Across the water, a neighbor shouted, "To freedom!" Voices joined in, echoing around the lake. I smiled, knowing one thing for sure: her reign was over. My family was safe. Our land was truly ours again, because in this country there's one rule stronger than all the fake ones. You don't mess with a man's land, his family, or his freedom.